Tonight, I want to share something raw and real with you. Not a sob story, but a testimony. Because sometimes the only way God can move us is by making us uncomfortable. A few weeks ago, I left my home in Jacksonville, Florida. I was living under a roof that leaked for almost 2 months. And no one, not the landlord, not the city, did anything about it. So I gave 3 days notice and walked away. And you know what? That was the blessing. Because if the roof hadn't leaked, I would have stayed in a situation that was never meant to hold me. God made me so uncomfortable, I had no choice but to move. I thought Atlanta was the next step. I drove there, believing it was where God called me. No, it wasn't. That was a detour, not a destination. Then came a job offer from my old employer, and I reached out, and when I got offered the job, I took it, thinking maybe this was the provision, maybe this was it. But deep down, I knew I was clinging to familiarity instead of trusting God. It wasn't alignment, it was comfort disguised as calling. So, me and my two cats, yeah, we drove to Tampa and we eventually made it. Now, on the way, somewhere in Gainesville, I hit rock bottom. No money, no food, no gas, sitting in a hot car on empty. But I kept praying, I kept posting, I kept believing that someone out there needed to hear God's message, even if I was barely holding on myself. And you know what? God sent reinforcements, and I made it to Tampa. Unfortunately, the trenches weren't done with me. And a week into the job, my car battery died one night when I was leaving work. Stranded again. But God sent an Army recruiter from the building next door named Lance. Shout out to Lance. Thank you so much. He flagged down someone to help me jump my car. Now, my car battery is dead, but it's still under warranty. Silver lining, right? Except my battery is buried under a panel that needs a mechanic to remove it, and I don't have the funds for that. So here I am in a hotel room with my cats, no working car, still figuring it out, but I'm not defeated. Nope, because every step of the way, God has sent reinforcement, not just to rescue me, but to remind me that He's still in it. Even when I take the wrong road, even when I run out of strength, and when I don't know what's next, He's there. See, I've learned that God doesn't just show up in the breakthrough. He shows up in the breakdown. And He's been shaping me this whole time, this whole journey, teaching me discernment, building my strength, stretching my faith, but showing me that gratitude isn't reserved for the mountaintop. It's forged in the valley. Because if we can't be grateful in the struggle, how will we be grateful when the overflow comes? Because it's coming. So I'm still here, still praying, still posting, still creating, still believing. Because this isn't my story, it's someone else's survival guide. So if you're in the wilderness right now, let this be your reminder. God sends reinforcements. So keep going.